Hey, good morning and happy full moon in Pisces. As you can see on the screen, it's later this evening, 8:36 p.m. Central Daylight Time for Kansas City. Full moons are, the moon and sun are 180 degrees away from each other. And so here we have it over here in 8 degrees of Virgo, and here is Pisces. And the tarot cards for Virgo is this one, Eight of Pentacles, where he's working, they are working diligently on their craft. And it's an eight, so it has a lot to do with the strength card and the star card. So has to do with that inner feminine yin surrendering magician that's constantly uh, doing self-improvement work. Not necessarily perfection. Perfection is in the process for earth signs, right? And then the Pisces is the Eight of Cups. That's where the moon and Saturn, if you look over here near the number 12. And so there is those eight cups of different individual emotional experiences that have been set in order. So there's been some reflection needed, or going to the mountains in that loyal to one's inner truth and authenticity of action and thought and feeling, that color red, that cloak or that wear is a lot to do with the root chakra, getting to the root of the matter. And so craft, self-improvement, precision, and then being able to walk away or to leave situations where there's no more evolution or growth or emotional uh, exchange or sustenance. And so you're going to go find it. You're retreating. And remember, with all these retrogrades, here's Saturn, here's Chiron, here's Uranus, here's Venus, and there is Mercury and Pluto over here. So all of these retrogrades indicate a retreating. Take all of the words that planets stand for, where Venus stands for equilibrium or harmony, that's birthed out of equilibrium. So reharmonize. Venus is commitment, and so is Saturn. So recommit. I like resolve, where you resolve, where you look at something from a different egocentric perspective, also known as the will, that intentional part of our ego that sets up the dynamic of what it would like to manifest and create. As all things Pisces, and Saturn's been there since March 7th, there's a haunting going on from different dimensions and realities, right? So there can be this bittersweet or this aroma, this atmosphere. Saturn brings in this Eight of Cups, where it may be a voluntary loss, but that doesn't mean that it's any less painful. And when Saturn's retrograde, we're more likely to fall for guilt and shame from the collective ego. You should be doing this. You should be more successful. But a trick with Pisces or in Hack and the Aquarius age that we're going into is that there is, let's redefine, let's not even use, there's an RE, redefine success and failure. From the vantage point of the soul, is all involution. When we ask for those intangible assets of grace, compassion, and goodwill, and paying it forward, involving bringing the divinity within us. And then there's eval, where we're looking at where we were in points in time and space. And full moons bring in the hermit, which is the ninth trump, or solidly uh, soulful secret, solidly soulful secret. Another way of saying the major arcana, the hermit and the moon, which represents the number nine. Uh, the retrograde Uranus and Taurus just happened a couple of days ago. And that indicates a reformulation or a reevaluation of one's values. Is your inner world of how you spend your time and what, whether it's on your craft, or whether that's on working on your family or self improvement, all valid and from the perspective of the soul and the ego, just period. And as we align with our intention to recommit or reformulate or resolve uh, our presentations to the world. And the more that we understand the process of Uranus and Taurus, that it's not going to shake any foundation that it can withhold. So if you're building on your values, then you have really very little fear, if anything. And the Mercury retro, you know, he's retro this year in Earth signs, and so when he does that, he's getting you to uh, research or look deeply into practical matters. And with it being in Virgo, the practical matters is the earth, uh, our physical bodies, our way in which we keep ourselves running precisely and efficiently. And the Venus in retro is, as we talked about, commitment. But with her being in Leo, it's coming from the heart, being able to know what our heart is wanting. Earth and heart have the same letters. There's a new blog that I wrote on Belief is Not Required if you want more information. And just to answer some questions that I've received through text and through other means, that yes, if you're looking at your sun sign as it relates to the full moon, then what you're ultimately doing is your consciousness and how you can reflect on it. If you look at it from the moon sign, it can be those entrenched conditional patterns. So let's say your moon is in Aries. Well, you are on the axis of action and formulation of going out into the world and being an agent of your own reality. Well, Pisces and Virgo are about looking at the whole, analyzing the parts and the whole at the same time, which may delay or get you to respond, i.e., differently than you might otherwise. And particularly with all the retrogrades, might not be a bad course of action to pause and reflect. Who is Fleck? To reflect on what are the intentions behind your actions. So this is Quan out, and just understand that the more that we come from a sense of wholeness and accepting our intentions, our raw material, we can co-create our reality in ways that is beneficial for us and those of us who are joined by our roots. Be sure to subscribe to this channel as well as check me out on Instagram and my website. Subscribe there. Beliefisnotrequired.com. That's beliefisnotrequired.com. This is Kwana.